I'm going to prison over anime? All right, let's see it.
2020 anime and manga fans must not be able to read, because if they had a functioning frontal lobe, they would be able to understand that the overall bill that was unanimously passed in Texas banning anime and manga won't just affect people they dislike, but also themselves included. Posting images of Dragon Ball, Bleach, etc. would wind you up potentially even in jail, prison, and you would get a felony charge. I mean, even the article that was posted...
let's read this real quick.
Even in jail, prison, and you would get a felony charge. I mean, even the article...
Texas senators have unanimously passed a bill that, if signed into law, could make several games, anime, and manga series illegal to own in the state. This bill bans any obscene depiction of a minor or someone who looks like one. The problem with this bill is that it's so vaguely worded that even games like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero would all be banned. I mean, let's be real, man. The argument that Nicole looks like a minor is something that people could make, and the problem is it's not specific enough to ever know what you can or cannot do. Same thing with Dragon Ball Z. I mean, you have Bulma in that show, completely banned. My Hero Academia, you have Momo, get the fuck out of here. Naruto has Sakura and Ino, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, the big problem with this law is that gacha games and anime for people in Texas, which, by the way, is where I live, is so vague that it's very dangerous to try to enforce laws that are like this due to the fact that there's no specificity, which allows people to bend anything to their will.
Article that was posted showcases that the bill is so loosely worded that it could affect Bleach, it could affect Gurren Lagann, Monogatari, Kill la Kill, hell, it could affect Persona games and stuff. It could even go on to Family Guy, American Dad.
True.
It is a bill that is just straight up unconstitutional, and the Supreme Court has talked about this in the past and deemed this type of stuff unconstitutional. It doesn't mean politicians are going to stop, but the point of the matter is that this has already been ruled before many years ago that this type...
Now, I will say, this bill has been passed. That doesn't mean that it's going to be regulated, and it's still out for, are they going to enact it or not? So it's not ready to go right now. However, I understand the intent behind this bill, right? Because I think people sexualizing children anime, you know, like Kana or Klee or Hook, it's weird. It's awful. I mean, I think it makes you weird as fuck 100%. So I understand wanting to enact it. The problem is that they need to be very specific with what it is that they're going to be enforcing. But I think if this mindset were to be enacted, like making sexualizing characters like Hook or Nahida or Klee or Kana illegal, I would be completely fine with that. The problem is it's too loosely worded to where we don't really know what we're getting.
Of stuff, this type of ban is unconstitutional. But it's very fascinating seeing a lot of people that are supporting this news that came out earlier today all spouting shonen profile pictures, stuff that would effectively be banned and get you in a lot of trouble. Even some of my greatest fans are happy about this, even though they have actual One Piece in their profile. They have it in their actual header, which is pretty interesting when you factor in that One Piece has a lot of fan service. Characters that are quote-unquote would fall under the law to cause you to go to prison, jail, get a...
And that's the problem, is that we all know, I believe her name is, Vivi? No, this isn't Vivi. This is a character from the Dressrosa arc of One Piece that we all agree has the body of an adult, and no one would be weird for liking Rebecca from One Piece. But the problem is the law is so loosely worded that the case could be made, well, they said she was 15 in the show, and we all know that age in anime is fucking bullshit, right? It just depends on how they look like and what their body types are, if they have an adult body or not, right? Because then that transfers into real life. Whereas, like, you know, they can take some motherfucker who's 3,000 years old and make him like a baby, you know? It makes no fucking sense. Right, so I just go off of how they act and how they look. And if they look like an adult and they act like an adult, they're an adult. If they look like a kid and they act like a kid, they're a fucking kid. It's really that easy.
A felony charge, you get the point. There's a lot of stuff that happens with Nami. Rebecca is a good example, and Dressrosa. It's ironic, a lot of these people that are like, yeah, we need to get Chibi. Chibi needs to go to prison or whatever. They are very happy about this. And it goes to show that these people that have continuously tried to slander me and attack me, they're not your friend. They're not. They would be willing to throw the entire anime and manga industry under the bus just to get at me. That...
Chibi, I mean this genuinely when I say this. Shave your damn mustache.
That is how unhinged these people are. They are that unhinged that they can't even read, they can't read past titles, and I'm willing to bet you, because of this title, it's definitely a bait title. I'm just going to be blunt with you. I'm going to prison. They're just going to read that title and they're going to be like, yeah, yeah! They're going to be doing that. And they're not going to actually watch the video and understand how I'm calling them a hypocrite, how I'm calling them out, and how what they're supporting is effectively also going to hurt them as well. It's pretty funny. It's ironic, honestly. But anyways, we also have individuals like this, that actually support One Piece and Bleach, even posting Bleach gifs. Once again, even in the actual article that discusses this, talks about Bleach falling in this category. So seeing people unironically supporting this despite what they're posting, it shows that they're illiterate. They can't read. They legitimately don't have
life when lolicons start being arrested like any other pedophile. Now, I will be completely real. If someone has on their PC, like, sexual photos of, like, Klee and Hook, hey, bro, I don't give a fuck what happens to him, bro. Straight up. That motherfucker's weird as shit. Absolutely not. I don't care. Okay? It's like they take an image of a baby, and then they draw it, and they say, oh, well, yeah, well, now it's a drawing, so it's fine. And it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. You know you're weird as shit, bro. You know you're weird.
Have a functioning brain because they are so...
However, I don't think this guy gets how bad this law is with how vague the terminology is.
They have so much hatred in their hearts, not just towards me, but like individuals within the anime and manga community on Twitter.
You know what's crazy? To the one guy in chat who said Lucari, get this, he's actually not a lolicon. That's actually legit just a meme. I talked to him the other day about it. Yeah, it's legit just a meme he plays into. Surely, bro, it's Lucari off stream, bro. He's not going to lie to my ass. He doesn't do that. Lucari's one of the most straightforward people on earth. He's not into that shit at all. It's legit just a meme.
That they cannot see just how hypocritical they are, but how they're hurting themselves. That they are.
He had a game on his phone about dating high school girls. Do you mean Blue Archive? You know, the game with Asuna? Because the way that you phrased that made it sound so much weirder, bro. Jesus. Come on, man.
Because the censorship doesn't just stop at stuff you dislike. It will hurt everyone. And if this bill does not get challenged, if this bill continues to push forward...
And also, if you want proof, Lucari was in a 4-year relationship with Kyuko, who's like this thick Asian woman. Because that's what Lucari likes. He likes thick-ass Asian women. He likes big ol' ass. He likes big old titties. That's what he likes. Now, anyways, let's leave his sex life out of this.
And it does legitimately pass in Texas, then it's going to be a cascading effect.
It won't. That's why I'm not even sweating this, man. It's fine.
Will start to cascade into other areas within the states.
It
won't just stop at Texas. Florida would probably pass it. You get the point.
I get it.
Another ironic thing about this, people thinking I'm going to be going to jail or prison or whatever, they clearly don't know, or they don't know that I don't live in Texas, which is ironic because these people actively support the doxers. So it's pretty funny. It's legitimately interesting. But yeah, all I'm going to say is...
Yeah, I mean, Chibi lives in Florida at 1428 Hot Dog Lane Drive, 732258. Anyways, go get them, boys.
People are, these people aren't your friends. You're thinking they're your friends. If you support these people that actively are posting this type of stuff and thinking they're doing the world justice and saving people, saving children, they're not. They're not. They don't care. They just, they want to own me. They want to get back at me. When you go that far to willing to...
I do think it's hilarious how there are people on Twitter who literally sexually identify as Goku. And that's all they do. Goku profile picture, Goku reacts, Goku wallpaper, and that's their whole personality.
Censor content. It says enough. It says enough about their character. I wanted to call out this hypocrisy because honestly, all day I've been seeing people quote retweet me or at me on this post, and it's these individuals like right here and all that doing stuff like this. It's pretty fascinating, honestly. I don't know. It's just so ironic just seeing like this man even has Chainsaw Man. He has Chainsaw Man in his profile. Bro, do you realize what happens in Chainsaw Man? Yep. The law would deem you a felon. You would go to prison. And it's just like, I don't want to hear the fact that, oh, it won't happen and all that. It's just like, no, if you're going to come after me, you're going to come after people and all that, read content that you deem that you don't like, and then you turn around and support content also has, let's be honest, questionable content as well, if you want to go by your actual standards, then you're going to be going to prison as well. So, once again, just going to say it one last time, these people aren't your friends. They just want to destroy the anime and manga community. That's
insane. Title of the video: he went to prison for playing Genshin Impact. What is happening to the world right now?